All right, folks, welcome back to PrepperNow. And we're going to be going through a few different things here, mainly, but we'll tie it all together as we do. I'd like to thank you all for being here. Still, 48 hours after the shot heard around the world, and now we are dealing with the aftermath, but we will get through it. So there is currently the RNC going on in Milwaukee. J.D. Vance has been chosen as the vice president. He is an author. He is a service member. A lot of people are enthusiastic about him. And I'm not going to really go into him. I'm sure you'll be hearing a lot about him today and other things. I'm sure you'll be hearing a lot about the RNC and all that. But I want to tie all this together and why you shouldn't put your guard down. As you're watching here, of course, this is a reenactment of what happened. And first and foremost, he should not be there. They should be covering him and moving him off the stage. His head is exposed. So anyway, who knows? There's so many questions about this. Yes, none of it adds up. You could go with any one of the why aren't they moving him on the stage? I remember Reagan. Reagan was in the limo in freaking 2 seconds. They're sitting there trying to get their makeup on. Anyway, I digress. It was literally a terrible showing by the he should be in the vehicle by now. He should be in the vehicle and they should be gone. He shouldn't be out there pumping his fist and all that, which, Trump's gonna Trump, but so the one person, as we sit here and glorify fist bumps and look and see all the fail. Look at these two girls. What are they doing? F your sunglasses. Good Lord. I hate sunglasses. I hate things on my head. I don't like hats. I don't like sunglasses, and I don't like gum. So what were they doing? What was she doing? I don't know. But as I posted on PrepperNow, the community page, I said, the guy that died, Corey Comparatori, he should be compensated because his family should be taken care of because he was in the line of fire and he was shielding his family actually. So he's a hero, he's a fireman. There's all kinds of stuff from everything I've read. This guy was a stand-up guy, and not that we would expose that he wasn't, but this is the kind of person that you hope society is chock full of, So Joe called up his widow, and she refused the phone call. Understandably so. I would imagine my wife would probably make the same decision, but who knows? Maybe her old leftist ways will come shining through. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Yeah. So Helen Comparatori is your name. She told the New York Post, he's my hero. He just said, get down, and that was the last thing he said. So this guy's a hero, I've said it here oftentimes. You've been around a long time. I'm all about strong male figures that are protectors. I think that's our job, and I'm not saying it's not because women are weak or our children are weak or anything. It has absolutely nothing to do with it. It's because as, the father, the husband, the whatever, our job is to protect. That's job number one. You get in a relationship, you build a family, and then from there you do everything that you can to grow it and to make it as safe as possible, even if that means giving your own life, which this heroic man did. So I hope his family gets compensation. I hope, it seems that they are. I know Vivek Ramaswamy, Ben Shapiro, and Kid Rock all gave money. I'm sure many people are more. There's a GoFundMe out there. It's actually on the the Crisis Report Trump page at the bottom. But this guy is He should still be with us, to be perfectly honest with you. He should still be with us. He shouldn't be getting preparation for a funeral. And the reason why is because really the people that were in charge of security, they failed in every single way. I have worked one time with the Secret Service. I got vetted and everything else. And it's because at the bar I was managing in New York City, we had a very, very high-end individual coming. And I'll just say it. His name was Saakashvili. He was the president of Georgia at the time. And at the time, Russia was engaged in a war. And they had a lot of people that were out to get this guy. And he was in New York and in America, doing, I guess, talks with dignitaries and diplomats and all that. And I got called on serving him. And, I didn't really talk to the guy. I actually basically did everything through the Secret Service. They were great. They were totally nice. They took my social security number and name and everything. And they came back about 5 minutes later and said, okay, this guy's safe to serve. And, that was it. And it was an interesting thing, but they were very professional. But one thing I distinctly remember was they swept the room. They looked around. Nobody was allowed in, and they went to every exit. They even asked me, like, where's this, where's that? Fire exits over there, front's over here, back's over there. That's back of the house, other ways you can go around. Are there any places that don't have a good line of sight? Back corners get kind of dark, and where the couples sit and smooch and all that kind of stuff. So you get the point. So, it was interesting to see, because everything about what happened at that rally should have been completely stopped. It should have never, ever, ever, ever happened. And as I said here, or at least on the crisis report, I really do blame the media. They're sitting there telling everybody to tone their rhetoric down. And meanwhile, I think the first thing they said on the DNC when J.D. Vance was announced today is that he is a MAGA extremist. What does that tell people? He's a MAGA extremist. I'm an extremist about making America great again. To someone, and I've seen numerous videos now of people, saying things like, I wish he wouldn't have missed and stuff like that. And, from the common person, the, stupid Zoomer with their blue hair screaming to Kyle Gass, who is the second man to Jack Black and Tenacious D. I used to love their music. I've got a little bit of a Jack Blackness to me in my performance. And I have to tell you, I don't respect them at all anymore after what I've seen. And so, very disappointed in them. But doesn't take away from this guy not being here anymore. It doesn't take away from his wife being widowed. It doesn't take away from his daughter not having her father anymore. So, as my friend Tim used to say, may angels lead you in, sir. So what goes on from here? I have said many times that there are just elements of what is in the leftist mindset that is depraved and kind of tinges on the cognitively ill, I guess would be a big word to kind of get past the censors. They always project, right here, of course, Jen Psaki saying, I'm incredibly scared. I'm scared for journalists. I'm scared for people who have public platforms in all parties. Well, me too. But I think the rhetoric has gone way out of hand. But I think part of that is these people do think, really, deep down, that it's a threat to democracy. I make fun of that. A threat to democracy. But they say that repeatedly, over and over and over again. Why do I say new neighbors over and over again? It's actually a psychological technique to basically infiltrate your your mind and make you, think of it that way, and with a little bit of humor. Why do you think Saul Alinsky, the first thing he says in his Rules for Radicals is ridicule? Ridicule is the most potent thing you can do to stop people of the other political cloth. And so I use it because I know it works. And he wrote it in his book. So these people are, I mean, they can scare me, I'll be honest with you, from time to time. I love when people debate and someone beats the other person in a debate using their mind. When I was in my poli-sci degree, there was no better feeling in the world than just dropping some knowledge on someone and having them sit there with their mouth open because they can't retort. And basically shutting them down. I've got facts all day long, bro. Whatever you want to bring, whatever your little angle is, I'm going to destroy it intellectually. But that's the thing. That's why if you were to go and you were to ask any of the average people on the left what the policy is for education, what the policy is for financial, strength. How do we get back on our feet financially with the specter of a recession coming? Not a single one of them could tell you anything, but they could tell you all the crazy people that, they think are a threat to democracy. When I sit here and go, the far right, that all of that is wordplay, and it's done on purpose to evoke a certain emotion. It's done to get into a guttural, base level infiltration into their psyches so they get to that, that Cro-Magnon level where they're like, me must stop Donald Trump. It's not, oh, well, Trump is against abortion, and I personally think a woman should have a choice. So, I personally am against him as a president. And that's what we did in the 80s and 90s. That's what it was then. It wasn't, Bill Clinton is a threat to democracy. He's far left. Oh, he's pro-abortion, and I'm a Catholic. I'm against abortion. That's what it was. But they've taken the rhetoric, and it's just gone crazy. So American Wire noted that Psaki's concern was not well received. One ex-poster suggested that Psaki would tire of the place from which he above-mentioned demons originated. Other comments, including, and that's the other problem. Another thing that people have to understand is it's the internet itself. It's the anonymity. I get people that will come on and they'll say some nasty stuff to me. If they were to encounter me in public, I can assure you, unless they are a friggin' Sasquatch, they're gonna think twice. They're not gonna just start laying out the the nasty words and stuff. So, as I said, the violence has started because of this rhetoric, and it's a projection thing. The left does projection. They go out there and they play the victim, and whatever they're doing, they throw it onto you, and then they come back and they demonize you, and it's proven that they get talking points, and they literally email them to everybody, and they say, this is how we're gonna talk, this is how we're going to attack, this is what we're going to do, this is how it's going tonight, okay? And they pump it out, and you'll notice if you go to like CNN, MSNBC, the person that's representing the left on Fox, NBC, ABC, CBS, there's a very much of a rhyming, parallel kind of mentality, rhetoric, and talking points that are put out there. That's because all of them receive it, and they say, this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to do it. It is vetted. They've got analysts and psychologists and everything else, and they say, okay, this is what we're going to do. So they likely caused violence via rhetoric, but now they want to play the victim, disingenuous. And if you still trust the media, especially after yesterday, there's no saving you. He's almost taken out one person down, fomented the violence. You're not the victims. So as now, there's this let's cool down the rhetoric, right? They've taken all of their really crappy tweets down and all the other terrible things that they've been saying for a long time, and now they're They're trying to play nice. Like, oh, hey, let's just take it down a notch. Come on, folks. Also, I love the people that go out there and they're like, oh, well, you know, the people on the right, they got to bring the rhetoric down too. You know, which, you know, there are some people, but there is a cottage industry of social media influences out there on the left that have made their name by saying all of this tripe, this crap, this rhetoric, this you know, violent, if only in words only. But the problem is, as I stated, it really does affect people of a weak mind. There are people, this young man who climbed the roof or whatever. Let's just take it on the level. Let's just say everything is as it seems. He got up there and he's going to do a terrible thing. Well, why did he take the preparations and everything that he did? It's because people were pumping this crap into his mind. You know, I don't like what's going on with the country. I don't like the new neighbors coming up unvetted because I'm afraid that something is going to terrible happen and some foreign actor is going to take that opportunity to be advantageous and harm people. I don't like what they're doing to our money. I don't like what they're doing to the education system and going towards this whole social justice thing and getting away from just basic reading and writing and arithmetic and all that. I don't like it. I'll call it out. I'll talk about it. And if something's going on that I think, you know, you want to take them on, I've always been about the money. I don't like Tractor Supply. I haven't been there in over a year. I don't like, you know, John Deere doing what they just came out and did. I'm not going to be there. When the BP oil spill happened, I still to this day do not go to BP oil because it just really what happened there I thought was just terrible. So I take my money away, right? So all of this is taking these minds, these young people, it's generally young, there's old people too, though, that are just, you know, sitting there and absorbing this crap. When you hear Nancy Pelosi say it's a threat to democracy, that is officialdom. That is the highest voice of government saying this person is going to literally become Adolf 2.0. And as I said the other day, that means that in the minds of these susceptible people, they're going to go, oh, well, you know, I'm going to be a hero. I'm going to be a heroic human being. I'm going to save America from, you know, the Zyklon being of the left. You know, he's going in there, and pretty soon there's going to be a Krakow and a, you know, other camps and everything else, and I'm going to be the one. I'm going to be in textbooks, and they're going to remember me. Like, that's what these people think. And the reason why is because it gets pumped into their heads that they should do something to stop all this, right? They should be the ones. Threat to democracy, threat to democracy. I mean, there's only so many times you can pump that crap into someone's head before someone that is weak and you know, for whatever reason, you know, and some people think that there's all kinds of outside influences of a nefarious means that we will not mention here. Okay. I mean, ultra. You know, there's all that aside. Their rage justifies their existence. That's the problem with all this. Everything is political now, especially on the left. You know, everything is a political thing. They're not calling the lady because they're worried about, you know, how she is and how her family is. You know, maybe someone is, but I can assure you there are analysts and advisors and aides that are saying, we need to call them and we need a big production about it so we can take that and use the clip and put it into a commercial and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, we got to take the tweet down that said, put them in the bullseye, and we got, you know, all that's done on purpose, and it is. I mean, that guy climbing the roof 2 days ago, he was put there by a lot of really terrible language, and the reason why they use this stuff is flat out, it's because their policies suck. If you've got good policy and you're going to make, you know, America into a better place for whatever that may be for you, You know, maybe you think it's bigger government with more whatever and going in and doing stimulus packages or whatever, or maybe you think it's less government and bolstering small business and whatever side you are. All I know is that it's gotten out of hand. And so now all of this is being, as they say, ingrained that the progressives themselves, they're not even aware of it, you know. They're not trying to make people know what they're doing. I go to people's platforms. I still do this. I'm old school. What are they going to do for college education? Are they going to bring down the price of college? I got a girl probably going to college in about 6 years. Are they going to bring that down? That's what I want to know. I don't want to know that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. Far right, far right, far right. Mr. Crook sitting there taking it and going, ooh, I could be a hero. I have been picked on, bullied, put down my entire life, and this is my moment. I'm going to go make change. And that's why I would be worried about potential violence, not just in Milwaukee, but other places. Now, of course, after all this, they said, oh, well, we've done we've looked at all the stuff. We're going to redo our security. We figure out, we're going to go in. We're going to talk to local officials. We're going to make Milwaukee safe. The RNC is going to be fine. Great. I'm sure that there's going to be a lot more of a awareness. But still, in other places, other political whatever, street violence is very potential. Plenty more to come, as it says here. And not just in Milwaukee. What will Chicago look like? You know? Think about it. What is the DNC going to look like? So, the establishment is out there, and, they're trying to do their thing where they abhor violence, but, nobody can get past the clip of Maxine Waters saying, you get up in there and you get in their face. That's now just laden into these people's minds. It's there. It's not going anywhere either. So thankfully, they've given Robert Kennedy Jr. finally a Secret Service detail. The Benny Thompson guy, I think his name was, who was trying to stop the detail of Trump. I mean, like, what do you expect to happen with that? You sit there for 6 years and you tell everybody that, he's the second coming of Satan. And then you just expect him to just go. I mean, honestly, if I were Trump, I'd get my own detail. I wouldn't even freaking trust the Secret Service at this point. So, the violence is going to potentially happen elsewhere. It's not going to get better. Milwaukee, hopefully because of all this and the height and everything, I'm sure the Milwaukee Police Department will do everything they can to make things safe. But, like, what happens in a week? What happens going downtown as we get closer, Canadian Prepper said we got 100 days of chaos or something like that. And it just stuck in my mind. It was a good line, CP. And he's right, we do. We have 100 days, basically, from here, roughly, of who knows what. They keep pumping this crap into people's head, and the people, I mean, look at this, like with the BLM riots and St. Floyd, and the guy in Waukesha, Wisconsin, I think it was. I remember, I'll never forget the guy who was sitting there with his family's furniture business that was completely burnt down. Been there for 40 some years, and the guy, you could tell the guy was just lost. And it was a very sad moment because, when I think of America, that's what I think. I think someone's family owning a furniture business. I think of Corey Comparatore sitting there, going to his job and hoping that no major fires break out that he's got to lead the charge on. All this is just gotten out of hand. And as preppers, we're going to bring this around as we always do now, it's important to recognize just how heated and nasty things potentially and probably will get. When you're walking down the street and you're in a crowded area, you need to assess everything. You need to look at everything. If you're in a movie theater and you're looking around, I don't know about you, but we sit down to the bottom right, usually. And the reason why is because it's the closest to an exit. I'll never forget the Aurora, Colorado thing. I sat there and looked at the schematics of the theater and how the guy did it. And to this day, we are downright usually about 2-3 rows in that anything happens, we're out that door quick. When I'm in a restaurant, I'm looking, where am I? I always like, we had lunch out yesterday, and I sit against the wall because I want to look at everything. I want to see everything. Eternal protector. We're going on a little trip here coming up. We decided to take a little trip, got a little time, and we're going to do something special. Honestly, to reward my one daughter, because she is suffering through summer school, because 4 years after the effects of Rona, she is still trying to get back into an academically solid state. And they, have done a number on her as well as the rest of her generation, and she doesn't want to be there. She wants to be swimming in the pool. But I told her, I said, we're going to go and I'm going to do something special. So when you get done, we're going to pick you up at 2 o'clock and we're rolling out the door and we're going to go and take you to a nice, fun week or weekend of some cool experiences for you to reward you, because she didn't want to go. But, when we go on that vacation, I'm going to be looking around. I'm looking at the areas. You know what I do when I book a hotel somewhere? I look at the crime map. Seriously. Look at the crime map. Because you can tell if it's in a nice area. Just because you're in a public area that's got all the sites and stuff doesn't mean it's safe. So, that's important. You should always be looking at that. What other events are going on? Are there political rallies going on when I'm going to be downtown? What are we going to be doing? All that. That's the kind of stuff that we really have to be kind of getting into now. I'm not all about not living your life. I'm not all about staying home and being frightened of the world. I think people need to go out. I think people need to experience. I think people need to live their lives. But at the same time, we have to understand that there is a potential for anything wherever we are. And right now, with all of this, especially after Saturday's event, we are really in a precarious situation as a country. I'm worried about the finances of stuff. I'm worried about, what's going on in the Middle East and the SMO in Eastern Europe. I'm worried about, what's going on in Asia. But I gotta live my life. So when I'm out there with my family, I'm watching my six. I remember being in New York last year, and we were in the subway because my kids wanted to ride the subway, and that's something I lived in New York for almost a decade. I took the subway every day, and they wanted to do it, but I knew the kind of people that go down there. Sure enough, this isn't Bloomberg's Manhattan that I lived in, which was safe and fun and going out and living life and seeing the sights and stuff, cop on every corner. No. This is Eric Adams's New York City. And it was, the subway had some extra people that usually used to not be able to get down there. Now they can just roll right in. So, political issues are coming. There's political problems coming. I hope the RNC goes very well. But the Hill is saying that there's a possibility of an October surprise to swing the presidential election. Now, they're probably saying something coming out of nowhere. Some lady comes out and says that, Orange Man bad, ate her child when, he was they lived together and a love child, and he didn't want it to get out, so he consumed the baby for breakfast. Something like that comes out. But that's not what I'm talking about. October surprise, all this. I'm talking about the people that are behind the scenes really fully worried that Orange Man Bad is going to get into a position of power. Because I can tell you, all of the things going on. If you look right now on the predicted sites, these are the casino prediction, whatever, it's 71% that Orange Man Bad is going to get there. There's people that are thinking it's going to be the largest landslide since Reagan. What is it going to look like if these people in the background that really want to hold on to their neoliberal world order think, what do you think is going to happen out there if they think that Orange Man Bad and a Trump-Vance ticket is going to stop, I don't want to say progress, I'll say regress that has gone on? You better believe that all bets are off. You better believe that you're going to see all kinds of craziness that you didn't even think you could see. This is not Reagan's America anymore, folks. This America is a place where very nasty things can happen to you, and even some of the best places. I'm really tired of seeing the new neighbors doing things to young ladies. I really am. I've got 2 young ladies, and I shudder to think, But all that is possible. And all this stuff is just going to get more heated. It's going to get worse. It's going to get more, they'll tone down the rhetoric for a week, but you mark my words, next week they'll be right back. Threat to democracy, threat to democracy. There's going to be more attempts. There's going to be more things coming. There's going to be more. There's just no way that it doesn't. There's no way that we just go back to, where we were in 2014 or whatever the heck it was, 10 years ago. We're not there anymore, and we'll never be there again. So they say, if Harris replaces Biden, the polls show be no significant movement. That's because nobody wants her to be in position because, many people think she's an airhead who's basically done nothing. I mean, remember when she was tasked with going down to the New Neighborland and stopping them? I don't even think she visited. So, no, there's no one on the side that is even a chance. The only people that I see on the left that could potentially do something are Shapiro and Beshear. Beshear from Kentucky and Shapiro from Pennsylvania. Those are the only two. Because they're Beshear is really well liked in Kentucky by both sides. And Shapiro's, he just got in, and he's pretty well liked as well. But other than that, there's nothing. There's no, I don't know. I still think that maybe if they were going to replace, they'd put Hillary in. I do, but we'll see. But there's going to be a surprise. There's going to be all kinds of things coming. There's going to be all kinds of things out of nowhere. Think of Saturday night. Like, who saw that coming? Oh, there's another rally. Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to go do my thing. I'm going to go play my music and blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, I look down because, I play music. I put my phone on airplane mode. We take a little break and turn it on. And all of a sudden, it's just like just buzzing and buzzing and buzzing and buzzing. You look up, and the world had changed. Different world. So, I personally think Trump is going to win. I do, now. I really don't think people are messing around anymore. I think they know that the stakes are, and because of that, I really do think that all bets are off. That there's enough really terrible human beings out there that from here they're going to be doing things that we can't even imagine. I'm going to be honest with you too. I think I've decided I am going to vote for Trump, because I'm not voting for Trump. Actually, I'm going to be voting for Corey Comparatori. That guy. I'm sorry. I know I've been talking about him a lot. That like affected me. I'm going to be honest with you. It really did. So I got a soft spot for good dads. I really do, because I think we need more of them. So for Mr. Comparatori, and I've decided I think I am going to throw down the old vote for Trump. I was basically planning on not voting for the presidential thing and just doing the downward vote of the locals and all that, which whoever knows there, But I think I've decided that I am going to be doing a Trump vote. So wouldn't be my first. But we're going to get crazier. As it says here, events could go other way. War could escalate. Outbreak of a second front in Lebanon. That could happen. Asia could spiral out of control. Chicken flu could get rolling again. Who's got that in their cards, huh? Who's got that in their 2024 bingo? North Korea, South Korea could get rolling. All this. What happens if we really do? Let's say 1st of November... Russia strikes Germany. Think about it. Or Poland. Something happens. There's some incident, and Poland starts chucking out air defense systems against the Kinjal cruise missiles, and then all of a sudden the Ruskies decide that everything's off the table, and they go in and they decide to go after Poland. Like, what happens then? And then all of a sudden we're in conflict number 3. Like, that's a distinct possibility. That could totally happen. And if that happens, then the other stuff's going to get going. China is going to start looking at Taiwan real hard. So, yeah, there's all kinds of potential going on out there. 538 noted, shortly after the 2016 election, immediately before the Comey letter, Clinton had a sizable 6-point lead over Trump within a week. Her lead had been cut in half, and then Clinton's edge declined in all of that. So anything can happen. Of course, they're putting that in there because they're probably hoping that Orange Man Bad won't win, but I'm worried about people getting violent in the streets. Maybe it's in Milwaukee. I'm worried about the left saying some nasty stuff. Working people up. I'm worried about Antifa. Don't forget them. They're out there. Shock troops, they're ready to go. You better believe they're pissed. They're ready. I had read somewhere that the young man was mixing with them. I don't know if that's true or not. All this stuff is possible. So you got to be prepared. You got to be ready to go, and you got to be ready to swivel when you're in a public place. You got to know what's going on around you. Might be smart to have some form of a bug-out bag or something in your vehicle. We always have one in ours. Our little trip, you better believe there'll be one. It's got an emergency tent, emergency fire, emergency food. You never know. Water pills, the whole 9 yards. All in a backpack. Very self-sustained. Takes up very little room. It's what the cool kids do, So, and I'm sure a lot of you have that. And I mean it too, don't be afraid to go out. I'm not saying be afraid to go out. I'm saying just be smart, be prepared, be a prepper. Be ready. Know what's going on. Assess the situation. Look around. You don't got to be paranoid. Oh, you guys are so paranoid. No, we're not paranoid. We're intelligent. We know that the world is chock full of jerk faces. Look at it right now. I'm still going to enjoy myself, but I'm not going to, mouth agape like, friggin', what's his name from Family Guy? Homer Simpson. Yeah, be ready, folks. This is going to get crazier. I think Saturday proves that we are in uncharted territories. I think there are a lot of desperate stuff. Cosmic Shy, thank you so much. That's very kind of you. I appreciate it. A lot of desperate stuff that's coming. I think they really are starting to get worried that Orange Man Bad is going to do it. There's been a lot of endorsements by higher up people, establishment people that are freaking them out. Right now, they've had to chill out their language on the left because of what happened. And, it's all potential. All this stuff is a potential. So, I hope you are prepared, folks. I'm going to turn it off on that one. It's almost 8:30. You got Magic coming up. I'll be modding on him. Please watch Magic Prepper. Please go to the other channels. Support all of them. Bear, Prepper Nation, Angry, all of them. Pinball. These are all good people that are really. I've met a lot of them in the background. Never met Bear. Actually, I was on a call with Bear on one time, but I like Bear a lot. I got a deep respect for him. I got a deep respect for all of them. All these people, all the Prepper channels, man. We're not doing this because we're trying to be rich and famous. Trust me, if you saw the amount of time and what we get out of this, it's a labor of love. But thank God the platform still allows us to do it. Come out here and talk to you and say, hey, you guys should consider preparing yourself. You should consider putting food away. You should consider having cash on hand. You should consider what would happen if the electricity goes out. You should consider having neighbors in an area study. You should consider having a bug out bag in your car. You should consider all this stuff. Again, not because you're paranoid. Because if the fit hits the shan, you're going to be all right. Let me give you one. I'll give you one right now, okay? And this is from my wife. So you guys, I am still affiliated with JASE. And I got the link up still, but I don't push it. It's just there if you want to go and go through my link. The JASE is a solid product. My wife suffered a UTI. I briefly mentioned this. I don't know if it was on Crisis Report. Urinary tract infection. Okay, so she's in a bad way. We had sports ball on Saturday. She calls me up. She says, I can't get off the toilet. Okay. Do I need to come home? No, I'm fine. She goes, you know what I did was I took those antibiotics you had in the emergency case, the one, the aqua colored bag. I said, oh, you mean the JASE? Yeah. She took the, I think it was Augmentin, because it's a antibiotic, and and literally now, 48 hours after, she is in a much better place, and she didn't have to call a doctor. She didn't have to set up a thing or go or get checked out. She knew what was going on, and she knew what to do it, and she tapped into our meds because we have them, and sure enough, now she'd maybe have seen a doctor by now, probably still be in a heck of a lot of pain, but because we have these meds on hand, because we're preppers and we're not paranoid, she literally took the meds and she was fine. So, ridicule all you want, but I'll tell you what, folks. I will take that situation any day of the week where there's an issue and I can immediately go into my shed, into my medicine cabinet, into my garage, into my car, into wherever, and get that prep that I need to make sure that we're fine immediately. Okay? That's why it's smart to be a prepper. So be prepared, because we don't know what's next, all right? God bless, and we'll see you on the next one. PrepperNow out.